Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide, and in today's video we are going to be unboxing and I'm going to be giving you first impressions of iFlyTek AINote Air2. I think they tried to kind of cram every search word that they could in the name. The only one that they are missing is paper. So I think it should have been like AINote Paper Air 2. So that if you're looking for any of the products that this one actually crams its way in. This device has not been sent to me by iFlyTek, even though I have been contacted by iFlyTek and they have initially proposed collaboration. We couldn't really come to an agreement there. After the interaction that I had with iFlyTek, it piqued my interest to kind of check and see the existing reviews and existing coverage of this device. And to the best of my knowledge and everything that I've seen so far, I think all of them are basically sponsored videos and sponsored content. I can see from the content that they're also conforming to the stipulations of the collaboration that iFlyTek puts up front as a condition for a reviewer to actually get the review device for their channel and a hefty compensation as well. I purchased this device with my own money so that I can bring you an independent look. Maybe good, it may be bad, it may be a mixed bag, I don't know, I'm interested. But what I do know is that when I see something like this, like a red flag like this, then I have a desire to put out a coverage that is not constrained by those stipulations. So that you as a user can also have an independent look at a product like this. That type of independence costs a lot, and I finance basically all of it because I don't take sponsors and I don't take sponsored videos. That type of independence is also made possible only by your support, and you can support the channel and this independence directly by either issuing super thanks comments directly in the YouTube here, liking the videos, subscribing to the videos, sharing the videos, and also going to mydeepguide.com/shop, where you can find hyperlinked workbook files that help organize all of your yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily needs in the case of MDO or My Daily Organizer, or in the case of MMP, My Deep Guide Meeting Planner, all of your meeting planning needs. You can find more information in the links down below, but know that purchasing of these products, you will not only get an excellent product that will complement your device in a really, really good way, but you also help directly support the independence of My Deep Guide so that I can bring you independent looks at devices like this. The whole saga with iFlyTek actually started from them contacting me that they want to collaborate with My Deep Guide, that they like what I do and they would love to have it featured on My Deep Guide. Normally when I receive something like that, I have a standardized template answer that I just simply send, and in that template I iterate my conditions that are non-negotiable. And one of the most important conditions that is non-negotiable is that I get to keep 100% of editorial rights for the video. They do not get to see the video beforehand. They do not have any say in what gets to be shown or said in the video, or not shown or not said in the video. And they certainly don't get to have any input in how the product is supposed to be portrayed or not. So I'm not going to bug you with the whole several days of back and forth. I'm just going to focus on the last 2-3 emails that basically summarize the whole thing and why I resorted to actually purchasing the device myself and not actually have a collaboration with iFlyTek. So like I said, it was a substantial amount of back and forth and it spanned over 2 weeks. The first time the concrete offer and the conditions of the collaborations came out was on March 20th, where they're offering $1,000 for the opportunity to collaborate and to send the review loan device. But they have 3 conditions, and condition number 1 was video content avatar authorization. We're seeking a 6-month authorization for the video and avatar to be used as material for paid media advertising on major platforms. This will allow us to maximize the reach and impact of the content while ensuring it aligns with your creative standards. So that's a pretty big ask, and this is a very low amount of money for a 6-month kind of thing that they are looking for. But that's not the only thing. There's another one then. Bio link placement. We'd like to include a link to our independent website in your bio for the duration of the campaign. So for the 6 months in your bio, you will need to have a link to their device. This will help drive traffic and provide your audience with easy access to more information about the product. Not in the content description of the video, but in your bio. Comment engagement. Active participation by you, the creator, in maintaining and engaging with the comment section to foster community interaction. We believe this will help build the trust and encourage meaningful conversation around the product. And I immediately responded with, thank you for the offer, but I cannot accept the collaboration conditions, as that would directly interfere with my primary requirement, which is independence. However, I am interested in reviewing your device on mydeepguide free of charge. All I require is a review loan device for a period of about 3 weeks so that I can test it and record the material. If this is something that is acceptable to you, please let me know. Pretty clear. And we started to actually move in a direction when they understood that I am not gonna do $1,000 and I'm not gonna do those 3 things, but they seem to have believed that everything is a negotiation. So they just kind of, to ensure smooth collaboration, we'd only kindly request no subjective disparagement. While we welcome honest feedback, we'd appreciate avoiding exaggerated negative claims that would misrepresent the product's functionality. And the second one is no direct competitor comparisons. To keep the focus on the iFlyTek AINote Air2 standard features, we'd prefer no side-by-side comparisons with other electronics. To which I again reiterated, I always try to be as objective as possible, but I do reserve the right to offer my own subjective opinion, which will always be prefaced and clearly stated that it is subjective. And point number 2, the format of the in-depth review is such that it's impossible to not compare it with other devices. As part of standardized testing are writing latency, battery life, screen attributes, etc. Results of these standardized tests go into a central database, and every single device that goes through mydeepguide is and will be included there and displayed as a point of comparison, how it stacks up to the marketplace. These are non-negotiable terms. And at that point, they refused that. We regret to inform you that we will need to pause our collaboration plans at this time. Where I concluded the whole discussion when I said, thank you for letting me know, not a problem at all, as I have now purchased the AINote Air2 so I can do an independent and objective review of the device for my audience, as I know that they will value an independent look at this device. So that's the preface of this whole story. So now let's proceed with the unboxing and the first impressions to see what the AINote Air2 is actually like. So let's cover the specifications of the iFlyTek AINote Air2 so that we know what to expect and what we're actually looking at. And to start, well, so let's start with the price, which is 530 euros. Oh, sorry, it's discounted from 530.09 euros to 529 euros. If you wanted to have the black protective case as well, then it's going to be 559 euros. And if you want the protective case along with the extra nibs, then that's going to be 579 euros. Something kind of strange is going on. So apparently there's like a €100 difference between the black protective case and the navy protective case. I can't find these prices on Amazon because they don't ship. So if you want to try and order from them, they don't really ship to certain countries like Norway. So I couldn't really order it directly from that. So I had to order it from Amazon. And there you have prices that are far more in line with 529 euros, although you get to have shipping and import taxes. So I'm going to cover that as well to show you how much it cost me. But first, the specs of the device. So the specs are 8.2-inch HD e-ink display, which has a resolution of density of 293 ppi. And that means that it's pretty much exactly the same type of screen panel that we've seen on the AI Paper Mini as well. However, there's one difference that's actually mentioned here, which is the dual tone cool and warm reading light. While AI Paper Mini only has cool light, this one is supposed to have both cool and warm. Hopefully that's the case, but it wouldn't be the first time that I've seen a device like this advertise one thing only for another thing to be true. So it remains to be seen if that claim is true or not. It's equipped with a standard quad-core 1.8 gigahertz, and I'm pretty sure maybe it's an even A53 because it's logged down to Android 11. So it's a fairly old SoC, 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage, and that's like bog standard SoC that we get to see for devices like this for years now. It has both Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.0 connectivity, 4 mics, 1 single speaker, battery of 2600 milliamps, which may not be enough for a device like this, but depends how it actually balances the battery thing. So we'll see what the battery tests reveal once I get to do the in-depth review of it. USB Type-C, 5 megapixel camera. From my experience, that's not usually enough for successful scanning of documents, because it usually is unable to capture finer small print on an A4 page or something like that. We'll see if that's still true here. Maybe they have some clever processing to basically enhance this. Since it's called AINote, I would expect maybe, you know, the AI thing upscales it and then does OCR things. At least in my mind, that's like a what an AINote type of thing should do. So maybe 5 megapixels is enough if it's done smartly. Device dimensions in inches, okay, and in pounds. Let's calculate. All right, so that amounts to around 231 grams weight and 5.08 millimeters thinness of the majority of the device, with a thicker upper part where the camera is going up to 6.35 millimeters of thickness. As mentioned, custom Android 11 based system with a Wacom passive electromagnetic pen, which is great because if this pen is not good, then you can use a good pen. And now going back to the price that I actually had to pay. The base price for the unit was $549 US, but that is without any additional tips and without the protective case. Shipping was $31 US 85. And the VAT, the import fees deposit that goes up to here, is $145 US, totaling $726.06 US that I had to pay. Maybe I get some small amount back from the import fees, but let me do a quick calculation here. But I doubt it, because this calculation is correct, because the total sum was $580 US, and there's a 25% import tax, and that amounts to $725, which is pretty much exactly what I had to pay. So yeah, the realistic price for AINote Air 2, if you are in a country where you cannot get it directly from their site, and even if you're still probably going to have to pay the import tax, is probably more around $725 US without the case. Alrighty, so the package has arrived, and here is the iFlyTek AINote Air2 Note ... Etings powered by ChatGPT new. Okay. Scan with the transparency app to learn. The electromagnetic pen and product manual are in the lower layer. Okay, when writing, please make sure there are no magnetic items under the product to prevent interference with the electromagnetic pen signal. Useful. Please ensure that the horizontal marking on your electromagnetic pen is aligned with the marking on the right side of the device to achieve the best magnetic effect. I guess that's for holding the pen. Please be gentle when handling the product and avoid dropping it to prevent damage to the fragile screen. Also helpful. Please avoid placing heavy items on the product to prevent damage. Very helpful. Please do not store the product by compressing it with other items to avoid damage. So all of these things I find genuinely helpful, and I think that all of the e-ink products should contain something like this, so that users who are not familiar with the fragility of e-ink panels, that they can actually understand that hey, you need to treat this device a little bit differently than your traditional device because it's more fragile. Cool. So first impression on this one, quite nice. All right, so here is the little device which seems to be quite nice. I like the format of it. Very, very cool. In here we get a pen, USB-C to USB-A cable, and the quick instructions manual for the device. And here is the whole package: the device, the pen, cable, and quick start guide. This pen reminds me of something, especially this rear thing. I think it does have a iFlyTek logo, but you can slap on a logo on any OEM pen. Yeah, here's the pen from the, I forget what it's called, you know, the orange amber light paper thingy. And this is pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, this is the exact same housing. I think that they might be using a different nib, but it's using the exact same pen like the... okay, so I guess my brain is just farting right now inside my head, so I can't really remember what the name of the device is. The material on this one, on the outside, it's kind of softer and less slippery, and here it's harder and a little bit more slippery. So this one feels a little bit more cheap than, or cheaper than this one, and this one feels a little bit more pleasant, even though they are the same exact design. Interesting. All right, so let's get the stickers off. And this thing, of course, should take it off as well. Actually, more difficult than it should be. There we go. I really like the format of this thing. I think that it's super, super nice and modern looking. What's this? Oh, come on. The sticker leaves a residue down here. It's not a big deal, but it's just kind of sucks. The callus on my fingers is strong enough to actually wipe off the abrasions here. Nice. First of all, feels really modern. I really like the build quality here and the design. I'm a big fan of something slightly different, and somebody was thinking about this. The focal point is the screen, and you have equal margin all around the sides, and that's perfect because it's not really distracting, even though it does have this wider edge here where the big speaker is, or the speaker hole is. I don't know how big the speaker actually is, but the design is really uniform and very nice. The second thing that really impacts me is that the layer on top of the screen, the reflectivity is absolutely awesome. It looks good, it diffuses reflection in a really good way, and it mutes the intensity of reflections very nicely. So that's the second positive aspect that I see. I actually really like the color and how thin the design here is. The third thing that I'm reacting to is the build quality, because this is unibody and this is an aluminum alloy of some sort, but it is very nicely milled, and I especially love the fact that you do have this kind of raised bump on top, but because of the camera, right? But unlike the Tab Ultra, which just had a little bump like there and that's it, like nobody kind of gave any effort to this, somebody understood, hey, we need to have that bump, but can we actually utilize it so that it's something useful? And it's just working as a slight tilt if you're using it in this way. It probably might kind of bother you if you are writing in the landscape format, but in a portrait format, where it's like most of the times people use their notebooks in this format, this is such an elegant and easy way to overcome something like this, to integrate it into the design. And I love that, this definitely demonstrates thought behind this design. And I know that it's kind of maybe odd, but I really like this curve here. So this particular edge that goes from here all the way to there, and how it extends. So you see this kind of darker line there, that one I love a lot. That looks really cool. And it doesn't suffer from the problems that the Tab Ultra suffered from. There is a tiniest little bit that is kind of going a little bit on top. Hopefully that's going to be okay. We'll see with use. We have an 8.2 inch e-ink screen, almost 300 ppi, so 293 ppi, monochromatic screen on top, which is flush with the surface, and it has anti-glare paper-like type of surface on top. It seems more like a foil that's applied in a factory on the screen rather than a dedicated screen protector. It has 4 microphones. I'm pretty sure that a couple of them at least are going to be up there. On the top we have the USB-C with I guess status indication. Power button. Does it double as a fingerprint reader? It looks like a fingerprint reader-ish type of buttons, so maybe we will see. The right hand side there's nothing, there's just indication of where the pen should be, and it's now automatically starting because I've accidentally pressed the button. Left hand side we have 2 of these, which I guess would be, I'll see what the quick start guide says. And we have the camera scanner on the back and nothing on the bottom, with the plastic lines here that allow for free signal wireless transmission, which is kind of good that they're extending to the side and to the bottom to actually have a nicer coverage. So that's the layout. The 4 microphone array is in the top, as well as the speaker in the middle, and those 2 holes on the side, they are the shell buckle, or basically the buckle for the cover, which I do not have. And while it's doing that, I just want to take a moment and kind of compare the shell size to the iPaper Mini, and these 2 are using the same exact panel, so that's why I'm comparing them. So the 8.2 300 ppi-ishness kind of thing. Okay, we got the start here, that's cool. And let's just see, like, this AI AINote is just a smidge narrower, so that's kind of cool, and it seems to be thinner, or thereabouts. All right, so kind of same type of footprint, but I genuinely prefer the design of the AINote Air2 to the AI Mini. And if I had taken the sponsorship deal, this is exactly the type of stuff that I would not have been allowed to do, right? The most natural thing. Hey, which other device uses the same screen? AI Paper Mini, but the agreement would have said, like, hey, you cannot show and compare our device to any other device. Well, tough luck. I mean, I bought it, so now I can do whatever I want the way I want it. Start. What does it say? So, okay, we select country and region. Look at this gloriousness. Isn't it fantastic? It just screams professionalism. Connect to my Wi-Fi. 24-hour clock, set the date automatically. I have carefully read and agree above terms. I have not carefully read them, but I do agree because I want to continue. Ooh, I don't like this. Oh, I really don't like this. All right, so tourist mode. I'm not a freaking tourist. Upon entering tourist visits, you can experience the basic functions of the AINote, but sync operations cannot be performed. You can log into your account in the settings to exit tourist access mode. I mean, at this point, genuinely, as a user, if I didn't have a YouTube channel and the circumstances are not as such, that I purchased this device in order to be able to give you the regular type of mydeepguide treatment stuff that you've grown accustomed to, or basically the only way that I know how to do these videos. So if I was just a user and I bought this and I saw this message, I would immediately go cancel, shut this thing off, pack it back up and return it. But that's maybe just me, right? Because you could put an argument, hey, Microsoft is doing it, Google is doing it, Apple is doing it. Yeah, but this is not Microsoft, this is not Google, this is not Apple, this is iFlyTek. So that's my 5 cents on that one. Set later, I don't want that. Okay, so this sucks. Okay, use an electromagnetic pen to sign in the area below. But to set later, what is the set? Is that like a signature thing? Oh, no, I'm not gonna give you my signature. What the? Okay, you can download the QR OR. Are they saying OR? You can download the OR code and meet George Clooney. Well, start in the... Yes, let's please get there. Oh, again. All right, so let's see the onboarding process. Convenient switching between tasks. Control the notifications and everything here, or the control center is there. How to use the quick bar. So we have handwriting here. We have chatting, so that we chat GPT. And in the middle, we have the fast flipping mode and control the flipping speed by sliding. That's kind of odd. This is the environment. This dude for chatting. Provide question answer capabilities based on a large mode. On a large mode, you can access this feature globally, engage in conversations at any time. Okay, so let's do that. So I can't really use my ChatGPT account there. So this is quick notes from here, and in the middle, if you slide, quick page flipping. I'm not really sure what that is, but once I start using it, we will see. So this is your starting point, but you can go back to the directory and then you can have flagged, I guess that's starred, encrypted, local notes, and recycle bin, and you can create a new folder. Can I create a new folder within one of these? I cannot. Maybe I can in local notes. No, I cannot make folders. So how am I supposed to organize my notes if I don't have the most basic thing, which is folder structure? There's tags. No, well, for tags you need account as well. Let's do a test folder. Maybe you can... Apparently you cannot use this device without an account. All right, then we have a schedule. So now we have a scheduler here with a calendar, to-do list, focus star, and weekly. I like the focus of the device so far. It is a no-nonsense type of approach because it's mainly about notes. So you're starting with notes, then you have your scheduling, and then you have your reading. So let's see our reading. We have a bookshelf, we have a bookstore, we have an office center. Hey, cool. It downloaded a user manual. Very handy, which I shall read for the in-depth review so that I can bring you more relevant and comprehensive information about this platform. And this is internal memory here. Do we have the ability to add a folder here? Yes, we do. Okay, cool. So for the reading stuff, I can add a folder, which is good. Because the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to hook it up via USB-C and I want to transfer my test documents and see how it performs in reading and what the image quality is. Let's see else what we have here. So what is this? What is this little thing? This is document scanning. Then you have an email, which I assume that you would be able to link to another account like Gmail or other mailboxes. Then we have a menu here. Does it have access to apps and Google Play? About Google Play. And you have to enable Google Play and then you go through the whole shebang. I will do that for the in-depth review as well, but obviously it's not an out-of-the-box Google Play certified device, but you should be able to, like in Bigme devices and in the olden days with the books devices, that you should be able to go through the service registration process and then use the Google Play Store. Normally search, general search, and we have, what is this? Multitasking, and this here swipe up is also multitasking, and we got a swipe down here with the control center that gives us dark, low light, turn off, custom, cool. But I can't really see where the settings are because it's just like low light, dark light, and turn off. Well, we will see. Again, all of this will be something that I will be testing from now on when I've unboxed it and checked it. As the video title says, this is just first impressions to see what this platform is like. Can I mute it so that I don't have any notifications? Let's see. It is a fingerprint reader. Cool. All right, so there's no mute mode or do not disturb or kill notifications. All right, so let's go into notes. So I would go write a title. Okay, it recognized it, so that's good. All right, so the first writing impressions with this pen are okay. As the writing says here, writing feel is fine, but it feels a little too soft. So it's not super nice compared to other devices, and it is a little bit squeaky and sticky. Now, this squeaky and sticky kind of thing can happen with brand new screens until they get oiled up, and then that squeakiness and stickiness can go away. But I have also seen devices where it actually never goes away. So I'll just have to use this device a little bit more and then see where it will fall in that category. This seems like it's in the low 40s or low 40s, maybe high 30s millisecond type of range. Oh, that stickiness and squeakiness, I definitely feel it. Maybe it's the nib as well. Here's the Kindle Premium pen, which I consider to be one of the best pens, and it works, and it is not sticky. Good. So it's not the screen, it's the nib here that's squeaky and sticky and not really nice. Okay, so that's the better option of the two. As far as the pen controls go, we got, this would be ballpoint pen, which is, it is pressure sensitive. We have a pencil, which doesn't, okay, let's try different thickness. Is not tilt reactive, at least not that I can see. And it's like pressure-ish sensitive, but not really. Then we have an ink pen, which should be ink pen, which is nicely pressure sensitive. Let's use a better pen here. Yes, much better. I'm gonna be using the default pen because that's what you get, but definitely not a good pen. Paint pen or paintbrush pen, so the brush pen, which is also pressure sensitive. And we got region eraser and a regular eraser. And that's that. So there's no colors, there's no grayscale, there's no gray color, there's nothing. You just have the pure black and you have 4 stroke thicknesses to choose from. We got OCR. So let's try and, so just a very basic test here. Of course you do. Of course you have to have an account. Templates, I would guess. Hey, you have access to templates without an account. That's amazing. And you can add custom templates, and you have a quick and handy multitask access here as well if you prefer to do everything by the pen, and a little flag icon here which has to have an account. Okay, let's test the recording, how accurate it works. All right, so now we have a recording option on, and while it is recording, I am going to write some content as well. And now I'm going to try and multitask a little bit so that I can maybe introduce some kind of a drawing while doing the talking thing, because my hope is that I would be able to scrub back in the audio recording itself and kind of see when was I doodling this little dude and when was I actually writing something. So that kind of works for me, and I can flip a page, and on the other page I write some more. All right, so let's now do a stop. And this is interesting also because it has like this positional thing. So maybe it will understand like multiple speakers. That would be very, very cool if it was able to understand who was talking what, and then basically give a transcribe of who was saying what during the meeting. All right, so let's finish. All right, so when we're scrubbing through here, we can, let's include the volume so that we can hear the quality. I am going to write some content as well. And now I'm going to try and multitask a little bit so that I can maybe introduce some kind of a drawing while doing the talking thing, because my hope is that I would be able... All right, so far that works, but it also says click and read. Click on the handwritten content and listen back to the recording. So how do I click? Like this? Going to nice. This is very nice. So I can maybe just go down here. Okay, pause. And then I can say like, hey, maybe this section here. And on the other page. This is very cool. This is exactly what I was hoping that you would be able to have from a service like this. And it's very nice to see that this functionality is not locked down behind an account. As much as the other stuff is locked down, the key aspect that I think that this is a focal point of this device is that you can take notes, take audio notes, transcribe them, and then just have the whole thing. So if I go transcribe, recording, now you have an account. Well, okay, I'm going to be definitely interested to see how the transcription works, because my interest is piqued with this functionality alone, because this functionality alone, if it works correctly, and if it offers what I hope it does as well with advanced microarrays and advanced technology that we have here, potentially, that maybe the transcription could be between multiple speakers, that it gives you exactly who was saying what at given time, and then you can go back through notes for that. That would make it really, really interesting to have. In addition, we also have the ChatGPT option here, and the option to add an image, share, and I think that the button works on that. So if I make a selection here, I should have multiple functions. So join to do, so basically add to do, AI search, clear, and cancel. I'm not even inclined to install a Google Play Store with a device like this, because this is so nice and focused that it just has a purpose. And it's just telling me, hey, this is what I do. I could maybe do something else if you force me, but this is what I really want to do. So that's the first impression that I'm getting of this device. And the note-taking aspect, along with the recording so far, first impressions, fairly interesting. All right, so I hooked it up to my computer via USB, and very convenient that the USB is on top. I just dragged and dropped a test folder, and there it is. So test documents folder is there. So there's no fancy mumbo jumbo of adding to a library or to a bookshelf or something like that. I guess you can if you want to organize it in the bookshelf, that's why it's there. But for those who don't want to bug around with that and who just want a normal folder structure, and let's say that you have your library already organized in a folder structure, you can just drag and drop it and have that maintained here. And we get to have, okay, so next, previous, okay, I'm gonna confirm, and there we go. So now we have our reading. Okay, does it work with the hyperlinks? Oh, this could be a thing, that it doesn't support hyperlinks. Page finger was forbidden. Oh god, I love this. I'm just gonna do this. The page with finger enable. The page with finger was forbidden. And now another one. Come on, one more. The page with finger was enable. Yes. I can't decide which one is better. The page with finger was forbidden. That one is like so verboten. And the page with finger was enabled. No, I definitely prefer the page with finger was forbidden. Please do let me know in the comments down below which one do you prefer between these two. All right, so there's a huge problem here. So it does not seem to support hyperlink functionality in a document, but you can Annotate. That's okay. Can I select text and long press and select? Yes, we can. Although on a smaller one like this, so we can make selections, and with the selections we can highlight them, we can add them to an excerpt, we can do a search, AI search, copy, select all, and cancel. If we add as an excerpt, then we can add a note to the excerpt. Oh, we can also rotate. What does that do? Ooh, that does this. That's kind of cool. Although it becomes unbelievably small now. But okay, so you have your split screen functionality in portrait and landscape mode, which is interesting. And then you can export. What more can we do here? Switch templates, delete page, delete notes. Okay, so that's interesting. I like that. How do I minimize this? I can just click here and minimize it. Very nice and intuitive. And here we have added notes, which I guess is now linked to the document. So now when I go back here, it has a note that is linked to the document, and you can navigate the two at the same time. Quite handy, although somewhat cramped due to the size of the system, but so far very intuitive and very useful types of features. You can draw a ticket. But that's just a selection, said. That's weird. So we have the progress. Does it have auto read? It does not. Display, we have vertical or landscape, image effects, darken color and all that kind of stuff. Text display, yes, you can bold, enhance. PDF display, cutting, automatic cutting, custom, adaptive, custom, remove watermarks. So we do have some options here. Not really super a lot. There we go. So now we have cold and warm. But you gotta go into this option down here in the brightness. Well, all right, so there are some options. What I'm kind of missing are zoom and formatting options. For example, fit width, fit to screen. That's like an obvious thing that I'm missing here. Let's turn auto rotation on, because maybe, and yes, it does do the same thing like the Supernote does, which is when you turn the rotation to landscape mode, because that's what I did here with the swipe down. I flipped it to rotation mode. Now it automatically flips to fit width and then goes like this. The only thing is that it's not really that smart. It's not flipping. You can see that you can end up in the middle of between pages. The first impression is not that great as far as the functionality of the PDF reader. Although the functionalities are there, which are interesting. So I like the fact that you can add excerpts. I love the fact that you can associate notes with the whole thing. And I like the fact that it's trying to be kind of smart, that you don't have to deal with a ton of things, that is doing things for you. But I would really appreciate also the option to adjust things, because a document like this, if we had fit to width or fit page options, then it would be good. You do have a zoom. So let's see how that functions. Okay, so you can do the zoom in thing manually. Image quality is okay. I mean, it is 300 ppi almost on an 8.2 inch screen. You can see the text, how it looks like on a really small font. But when I flip it to a portrait mode, then it's something that's far more adjusted to a display like this, and then it looks like that. So you can see how the text looks like here, although you can see definitely some ghosting remnants, which again, it would be nice if there was direct access to refresh other than swiping down and then refreshing. So it's a mixed bag. Some of the stuff is good, some of the stuff is meh. Let's see how it handles images. There is definitely color banding, and there's something very strange with the formatting, because you can see like a little bit of home page, a little bit of battery, a little bit of this and that. If in image effects we do have maybe 256 grayscale, is that what they're calling Yes, so 256 grayscale will eliminate the color banding. Good. So they do have that option. All right, so that's definitely a cool thing. Yeah, this is usually a really difficult image for these devices to handle, but this is handling it perfectly fine. All right, so that's okay. Not really the best performance here, but I guess they're trying to match or balance between clarity and performance. So I would rather have something like this and clean than a ghosting bonanza, but I would also prefer to have an option to switch between refresh speeds. And maybe there is an option for that. I haven't seen like A2 mode or regal mode or normal mode or something like that. And I printed out a 4 sheet of paper here so that I can test the scanner, but alongside you can also see a direct comparison of the screen whiteness. The front light is turned off here. Yeah, it's turned off. And you can see the screen whiteness between the white paper and the screen itself. All right, so let's see how do we go about scanning. So I think the scan was here, and then I'm gonna create a new scan, and now we are here. So let's try and locate it like this. All right, so that's good enough. Let's take a photo of that. All right, and it automatically found everything very nicely. All right, so this is something that I'm okay with, so I'm going to do it, and it did image enhance automatically. Didn't really have any options, and what it enhanced is rough, really rough. This is not something that I can normally use. So let's see what options do we have here. Can we OCR this? I guess I would have to log on to OCR, I hope. Then we have a PDF logo here. So I guess we can export as a PDF. Now I'm gonna view later. And then I can share it and I can add a new page to this or a new scan to this whole thing. But unfortunately the scanning quality or the enhancement quality of whatever it does, it's not good at all. And it was not as if this was a bad print or something like that. It was perfectly fine, and it's capturing it like this. I think that the problem may be that this is only a 5 megapixel camera that's simply not able to take more details, or doesn't have enough pixels to capture all of the details. To verify that, I'm just gonna take another scan where I'm gonna be far closer to the image. So let's do that. All right, so let's add another scan, and this time I'm gonna be very close to the whole thing, right? So let's keep it like this, okay? And let's take the scan. Okay, so it's automatically taking it. That's fine, confirm. And let's see, do we get a better result? So yeah, this is a no. I mean, it's definitely better, but the same problem of mushiness. This is just so mushy and imprecise is absolutely there. And what I don't get it is that these are very thin fonts. So my suspicion is that the auto processing that they are doing is that they're maybe the emboldening fonts and exploding the contrast or something like that. It's not really done well. The document scanning, not really great. We'll see how the OCR functionality works, and maybe that gets the situation maybe that remedies the situation, but just as an image-based scanning, not that good. Well, okay, so that is iFlyTek AINote Air2 paper. So you kind of put like all of those words in there, and then what do we get? AINote Air2. Okay, cool, like a magic 8-ball kind of thing. The first impressions are a mixed bag. I absolutely love the format and the design of this thing. I think that they've nailed it just right for the 8.2-inch screen. how the camera is incorporated in the back, the quality of the build, the reflectivity and the surface on the front for the writing aspect of it. I mean, it's just like a really, really nice and fresh take on something that's easy to be stale. I love the portability of it. You do have a very thin device, which is nice, but that means that everything is thinly packed, and that means that the battery is very, very close to the screen. The most flexible element in this whole construction is the one that's going to take all the blows and bend the most, and that's going to be the screen and the glass in front, not the metal in the back, because it's a bucket hole thing. If it was just a flat piece of metal, maybe, but as a bucket and a milled design, no way. That's not gonna bend before the screen and the glass does, and that means that the screen is the most fragile point of a design like this. I liked the note-taking functionality and the recording. That I really liked. So the combination of recording audio and transcribing it, I hope that it's going to transcribe well once I establish a login account. It has a potential to be that type of device for the person who's in a lot of meetings and for the person who is studying a lot, is in a lot of classes and things like that. For those types of purposes, I think that this device, if it delivers, if it's able to deliver these things, which I'll know only after an in-depth review, because it takes time to do that kind of thing, and if it manages to do that, that would be great. But at this point, that's a big if, so we will see. Reading wise, there's positives. For example, the way that it actually adds a note directly, so it's very it's trying to be smooth like Supernote functionality is, but it's not really there yet, so it's a little in between. And then finally, the scanning thing was actually really, really disappointing. I don't know exactly, is it just the processing that ruins the image, or is it a combination of the low megapixel camera along with the processing that just makes the image not look that great? But the tests of just a simple printed page were not that good. It remains to be seen, again, once I create that bloody account, if the OCR capability is going to be fine. Because honestly, if the OCR capability is able to kind of recognize text seamlessly from that mess, I really don't care what the image looks like, as long as the end OCR'd result, the document that's OCR'd from a document, is accurate. That's ultimately the only thing that matters. Everything else is just like meh. So those are the first impressions that I have of the iFlyTek AINote Air2. Good lord, that's a mouthful. There's a lot to unpack on a device like this, especially when it has so many different functionalities that are locked behind a user account. That's it from me. Please do let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!